Hello everybody, welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us for our review of day 9 in the Euros. And we are now going to drop to 2 games per day. Oh, it's been a fun week or so. 17 watch-alongs I think we've done so far, but it's going to calm a little bit. We've still got plenty of games to do, and we go into the simultaneous third games of the groups tonight. But good fun yesterday. And here were your results. Hungary won. France won in perhaps the most surprising result of the tournament yet. World champions France held in the group of death by the team we thought would be the whipping boys. Hungary say no. Portugal 2, Germany 4 in a balmy 6-goal game in Munich. Spain 1, Poland 1. Spain only have 2 points and really need a win in their last game. Let's take a look at the 3 games yesterday. Starting with Hungary-France, which we did watch on the channel in the 2 p.m. kickoff. So if you want real-time reactions, you can check that back elsewhere on the channel. Gulacsi in goal for the Hungarians. Botka, Orban, Szali, Fiola and Nejo, Schaffer, Nagy, Kleinheisler, Salai and the other Szali. For the French, unchanged. No, the left back changed, didn't he? Digne in over Hernandez. So Lloris, Digne and Pavard fullbacks. Varane, Kimpembe, Pogba, Kante, Rabiot, Mbappe, Benzema and Griezmann. And this was an interesting one. Remember Budapest, full stadium, full of Hungarian fans. Everyone's been enjoying seeing football fans actually sat in the seat next to each other in the stadium, which has been fun. The French really should have been in front in the first half. There is Kylian Mbappe, gets in the box from Digne's cross, heads it just right. I think Mbappe had another chance. I think there was a shot parried from Benzema as well, and Griezmann was offside from the follow-up. But as happens often, does it happen often? I don't know that it does. As sometimes happens, the team under the cosh breaks away just before half-time. The wing-back Fiola runs in behind Pavard and sticks that one in to jubilant scenes in Hungary, and a very fun celebration where he runs over and there's some poor lady working, journalist I guess, and he just tips her table up and going a bit crazy, as are the Hungarians. And I'm not surprised, they go 1-0 up against world champions France. Into the second half, that number 11 is Ousmane Dembele, who's come on as a sub. Brave attacking move from Didier Deschamps, and the ball hits the post there, hits the shot on the dribble, right-footed, and we do get the equaliser. And do you know what? All it was a kick down the ground, and Hungary defended well for most of the tournament so far, and it feels like they've been punished when they have. And obviously Portugal had that late surge and a 3-0 victory, didn't they? And now the French capitalise on a bouncing goal kick. Mbappe runs in behind, and then the cross comes in. They're on the back foot. I think it's Orban sticks out a leg, and Griezmann is following in, obviously sticks that home with the left foot for 1-1. Are the French going to go on and get the win? No. 1-1 in the end. There's the underlying numbers. Always get a little bit of a disparity on the XG from Infogol to SofaScore, but you can see in both instances 4 times higher for the French than the Hungarians. So the French not doing as much with their chances as the Hungarians did, or with their possession. 66-34 on the possession, like 15 shots to 5, 4 shots to 3, 3 corners to 1, 4 big chances to 1. It's a classic game where you can have the ball, you can have possession, you can have chances even, but if you don't stick them in the net, you won't win. And France didn't win in this one, and it puts the cat amongst the pigeons a little bit. We'll look at the tables at the end of the video, but you know, I was sat there fully expecting France to move on to 6 points and to be qualified, and we would be writing Hungary out of the equation really, by the end of the day. But that's not the case. We'll look at the tables in a little bit. Get your thoughts in. Hungary 1, France 1. And then, over in Munich, a goal fest between the Portuguese and the Germans. And there was a real chance the Germans, and they do go a goal down in this one, were going to be in trouble. But they're the Germans, aren't they? And they went on to win the game. There are the teams. Patricio in goal for the Portuguese. Semedo, Pepe, Diaz, Guerrero, Danilo, Carvalho, Fernandes, Jota, Silva, and the great Cristiano Ronaldo. Up top in goal for the Germans, Neuer, Ginter, Hummels, Rudiger, Kimmich, the right wing back, who you'd think is the star, but it was the left wing back, Goossens, of my favourite tournament team now, Atalanta, who seem to have the man of the match for every country now. Gundogan, Kroos, Muller, Havertz, Gnabry up top. Shall we get into the goals? There's 6 of them. And completely against the run of play on 14 minutes, the Portuguese take the lead. Of course, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. Corner cleared, and Ronaldo, who really runs with his arms, doesn't he, starts sprinting, and we're like, what's going on here? He keeps running and running and running. I think Bernardo Silva plays it over the top. Jota crosses it in to give Ronaldo the tap in, and he joins Patrick Schick of the Czech Republic on 3 goals for the tournament. Gives the Portuguese the lead, and at that point, the scorelines and the live table said the Germans were in trouble. But, and you can watch me back on this, at 1-0 to the Portuguese, much to the annoyance of certain people in my stream, I said, there's no chance the Germans don't score in this game. Portugal were sat back and Germany were on the front foot, pushing. And as I say, the goal was against the run of play. And that was to be the case, really. Goossens smashes the cross and he won't get an assist for this one. You can see Havertz, so it's a bit blurry. Havertz and Diaz. Havertz gets across the front of Diaz. Diaz wafts out a leg. Where does the ball go? Into his own net. 1-1. Own goal by Diaz of Manchester City. Followed by another own goal. You can see, is that Kimmich who smashed the cross in? I think it is. And Guerrero is in front of Gnabry. He's got to play the ball, but he plays it into his own net. A double sucker punch of own goals there for Portugal, and the score turns around for 2-1 on, or around there, probably just before the 39-minute mark. Into the second half, and the brilliant Goossens at it again. Poor old Semedo couldn't cope with him down that side of the pitch. Who was playing in front of him? Bernardo Silva. Should we say he didn't get much protection? Let's say that. Goossens crosses. There's Havertz. Sticks it in the net. It's his first of the tournament. And 3-1. A well-deserved goal for Goossens, who I'm going to say right now, my MVP of the day yesterday and day 9 was Goossens, the German left wing-back. Great performance by him, and he nods in. I don't recall who put the cross. I think it was Kimmich, so it's one wing-back to the other. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong on that in the chat. Scoring's not over yet, and good old Cristiano gets an assist for this one. You can see him off the pitch there with Pepe. That's an interesting position they've ended up in, kind of watching. Jota sticks it in the net. Ronaldo, great athleticism to loop the set play back. And there is the tap-in for Jota. 4-2. After that, and we could go on all day, Sanchez hits the post for Portugal, and then Goretzka hits the bar for Germany. So could have even been more goals, but we were all done at 4-2. Obviously, the XG number there for the Germans on the left-hand side in the sofa score, on the right-hand side down the bottom, is coloured a little bit by the fact that 2 of their goals were own goals. So nothing is added on there. It's literally not a shot. Otherwise, they are still in charge in terms of those figures. Big disparity though between the Portuguese figures from Infogol and SofaScore there. 12 shots to 7 for the Germans, 57-43 on the possession. Big chances, 3-2. Massively open game, and my eye test for getting any of the stats told me that Germany were on the front foot. They were moving the ball. They had the wing-backs forward, and that Portugal was sat, waiting and hoping that when they did get on transition, Fernandes, Jota, Silva, Bernardo Silva that is, and Ronaldo could do something up top. I mean, they got 2 goals, but defensively there, the Portuguese against a team that can do what the Germans can do, bit of a worry. And when we look at the table, there's even more of a worry for the Portuguese with this bit of a goal difference swing. Not as bad as when it was 4-1, of course. They did get it back to a 2-goal deficit, so they are still in credit on the goal difference. But yeah, there is a doomsday scenario now for the Portuguese, who do have 3 points on the board, that they don't qualify if they lose to France. We'll find out. We'll have a look at the tables in a minute. Get your thoughts in on that game, by the way, in the comments. First off, though, we need to talk Spain versus Poland. And Spain, former champions not so long ago, double champions, weren't they? 2008 and 2012. Only on 2 points now, going into the third game. And who are they playing? Slovakia, so they need a win in their last game, the Spanish. I wonder, will they get it? They didn't get it last night against Poland. Spain won, Poland won. There are your teams. Simon in goal for Spain. Llorente, Laporte, Torres, Alba. Pedri, Rodri, Koke. Moreno gets a start. Morata and Olmo. For the Czechs, Szczesny in goal. Berezinski, Glick, Bednarek. Puchas, Josviak, Klich, Zielinski, Moda. Lewandowski, Swiderski. And the big guy, Lewandowski. We've seen this with the likes of Alaba for Austria. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't when you have that one tentpole, that one flagship player. But he's on the score sheet. And I think, maybe slightly unfairly, Lewandowski obviously has so many chances for Bayern and scores so many goals. I think people expect the same output when the team's not as good. The Polish team compared to the Bayern team in context in international football. But the key guy is going to get on the score sheet in this one. Not before we have some fun and games here. Lots of Premier League fans were happy about this one. Morata sticks the ball in the net. Offside? Was he off? Was he on? The foot's playing him on. I didn't get the VAR output on the highlights I watched. I didn't watch this whole game. I had it on in the background when I was over at the in-laws in the evening. Morata onside. When the flag had gone up, they went over and checked and the goal stood. 1-0 to the Spaniards. First goal of the tournament for them after that epically dull 0-0 draw against Sweden. Here is Lewandowski. The ball's hit the post actually and come back to him there. Touch. He can't finish it off. But in the second half, bullying. I think, is that Laporte? For the header on the back post. Beautiful leap. We saw a great one by Schick, didn't we, for Czech Republic. This one, lovely power and glances the header in the corner. And the big name, the big stars are coming out and Lewandowski gets the goal. But we get another VAR call on the penalty here. Who is that? Moreno and Mudder, I think. And we now know, in the penalty box, if you tread on someone's foot and they go down, you're going to concede a penalty. We mentioned David Alaba as well for the Austrians. He did the very same. And you get a penalty for having your foot trodden on nowadays. That's the deal, I guess. Impeding, endangering opponent, whatever. Outside the box is a foul. Inside the box is a penalty. So say the laws, and so say all of us. People keep missing penalties, don't they? Moreno hits the post. Can you see number 7, Morata? He's got the run on everyone. He must have been encroaching, mustn't he? Surely to be that far ahead. Anyway, he misses the follow-up as well. And the Spanish strike you as a team that have been unable in the first 2 games to convert the chances they have made. Indeed, there's another one just before we finished. A good save, actually, by Szczesny. Manages to kind of land on it in the end. Morata cannot get his second. There are the numbers. And once again, the Spanish creating, look at the shot map, forget the numbers, loads of big red blobs there on the shot map, and they cannot do enough to win the game. And it's been the story of both the games. I wonder if you stuck Lewandowski in the Spain team, how they'd be getting on. Easy for me to say. Another huge amount of passes racked up. I think it's like 900 in the first game against the ultra-defensive Swedes. Another 700 passes there. 5 big chances to 2. 12 shots to 5. All of those underlying numbers say Spain probably should have 6 points. But they don't. That's football, isn't it? Game state. Numbers tell us one thing. But, and there's an important distinction here. The only stat that matters, hashtag. It's not the only stat that matters. It is the most important one. The goals. It's not the only stat that matters, not by a long shot. But they've drawn both their games, the Spanish, and the first point for the Polish, who will now play the Swedes in the last game. And they'll think they can beat them and they can qualify. We'll have a look at the tables in a sec, but let me know what you think in the comments on Spain 1, Poland 1. Right, let's go to the tables. There they are. So we'll stay with Group E because we were just talking about it. Sweden find themselves at the top. Fair play to them. They've kept 2 clean sheets and they've got 4 points. So Sweden on 4, like I just said, so I'm repeating myself. And they play the Poles now, knowing, given the head-to-head, that Sweden beat Slovakia. They know that if Slovakia draw against Spain, if that game's a draw, Sweden are definitely qualified, aren't they? Sweden can draw against Poland. They will end on 5 points, and 2 teams can't then go past them in terms of Spain and Slovakia. So Sweden obviously in pole position at the top of the group. Really interesting one then with Spain. So Spain, if they can beat Slovakia, if they can get the ball in the net, which they've struggled with in the first 2 games, hence 0 wins, they would go on to 5 points. This could be the one, couldn't it, where we're looking for a group where third place does not qualify. I suspect third place will have 3 points or fewer in this one, unless we get a Slovakia win. No, it would be a Slovakia win and a Polish win, and we'd have 5-4-4, wouldn't we? Certainly looks very, very tight, this one. And literally, anybody could qualify, couldn't they? A Poland win and a Spain win. All of a sudden, they've got 4 and 5 points. And we'll see how the goal difference looks. So, could go any way, that group. Very nicely poised. The group of death, equally fascinating. Look, we did expect something like this with the 3 big boys out in front and the Hungarians perhaps languishing somewhat. So the last fixtures now, Germany-Hungary. So you'd make Germany favourites to win that game, or at least not lose. So assume they're going to get to 4 or possibly 6 points. The worry is for the Portuguese now, because if the Portuguese lose to the French, they'll be on 3 points, and by virtue of the fact that they will be losing, they'll have at least a 0 goal difference. Will there be another team in one of the groups? I mean, just look above, for example, in terms of a third place team that could better either the points or the goal difference. So if Poland can win by 2, well, the goal difference will be irrelevant then because they'll have more points. I just wonder whether Portugal would be vulnerable on 3 points with a static, neutral, 0 goal difference. Or, God forbid, if the Hungarians were to beat the Germans, or the Portuguese were to beat the French, and the French have got 4 points though, haven't they? So, are the Germans vulnerable? Again, I've got to say the same thing about them, but they're not playing the French, they're playing the Hungarians. So anyway, we'll get into all of that. We got day 10 to think about first, haven't we? Which brings us our first simultaneous games. So it's ITV are doing Italy-Wales. That's going to be the one that we're watching along. But, of course, we'll have eyes on Switzerland, Turkey. The Welsh look really good for qualification. However, if the Welsh were to lose to the Italians, the Swiss were to beat the Turks, and we got a goal difference swing, and it'd be a big one, of 5. So, for example, if there were 2 3-0 wins, you would get the Welsh dropping into 3rd place. They would likely still qualify, but we're going to be number crunching this all week. Second in Group A plays second in Group B. First in Group A plays second in Group C. And the 3rd place pot could either be Group B, Group F, or Group E winners for whoever's in there. Will it be Wales? Will it be Switzerland? Remember, if the Welsh get anything from their game or the Swiss don't beat the Turks, the Welsh will be guaranteed either first or second if they beat the Italians. Although Italy have looked decent, they would win the group, of course, which would be a huge feather in the cap for the Welsh, and we'll be watching that one tonight. Come and join me for watch along number 16, 17, 18. I don't know how many we've done. 18, I think that'll be tonight. Really, really looking forward to it. So come and join us. I've had my say, no, you have yours. Get involved in the comments. That is our Day 9 review of Euro 2020. Thanks for watching. Over and out. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.